Have you ever heard about the haunted Sloss Furnaces? This isn't your average ghost story. Nestled in Birmingham, Alabama, the Sloss Furnaces carry a dark and chilling history, a tale of ambition, danger and retribution that lingers in the air, as palpable as the iron once smelted there. But what if I told you that the echoes of the past are still heard today? What if the spirits of the fallen are still amongst us? Prepare yourself as we delve into the chilling history of Sloss Furnaces. Our story begins in 1871 with the founding of Birmingham, Alabama. The purpose behind its establishment was as hard and unyielding as the iron it was destined to produce: to supply pig iron for the infrastructure of America, a country that was rapidly modernizing and expanding. The city's birth was an industrial one, and at the heart of this industrial revolution was the creation of a particular entity, a mammoth of iron and flame, Sloss Furnaces, constructed by Colonel James Withers. Sloss, a man as tough as the iron he forged, Sloss Furnaces was conceived as a beacon of progress, a testament to human ingenuity and resilience. In 1871, the first stone of this industrial titan was laid, and by 1872, the furnaces were alive with the roar of molten iron and the clamour of hundreds of employees. A veritable army of men laboured day and night, their lives revolving around the relentless rhythm of the furnaces. Their jobs were dangerous, perilous. They danced with death on the edge of blast furnaces, the heat of the molten iron scorching their faces. Many workers tragically fell to their deaths, their lives claimed by the very beast they worked to feed. Yet despite the danger, the furnaces continued to burn, their fires a symbol of the relentless march of progress. The iron they produced helped to build the skeleton of a growing nation, its railways, its buildings, its bridges. Yet every piece of iron bore the sweat and toil of the workers, every railway track, every girder, every bolt, a testament to their sacrifice. But the dawn of the 20th century brought with it darker times. Conditions at the furnaces worsened, and a new foreman, James "Slag" Wormwood, took the helm. Under his rule, the furnaces became a place of fear and dread. But that, dear listeners, is a story for another time. And thus, Sloss Furnaces was born, a beacon of progress, yet a harbinger of tragedy. The furnaces opened in 1872, a place of work for hundreds, yet danger lurked at every corner. The Sloss Furnaces weren't just a bustling hub of industry, they were a death trap. The blast furnaces, towering like grim reapers, were the scene of countless accidents and fatalities. The workers, many of them immigrants and poor folks desperate for a living, worked under treacherous conditions. The heat was unbearable, the air thick with soot and grime. The men laboured tirelessly, their bodies slick with sweat, their eyes stinging from the smoke. They were surrounded by molten iron, lethal machinery and precarious walkways. The blast furnace's fiery maw claimed many lives. Men slipped or were knocked into the seething iron, their screams swallowed by the roar of the flames. Others were crushed by heavy equipment or succumbed to the toxic fumes. The death toll was staggering. By the turn of the 20th century, the number of fatalities had reached nearly 50. But it wasn't just the deaths that cast a shadow over the furnaces. Numerous workers were maimed, losing limbs or their sight in horrific accidents. The furnaces were not just a workplace, but a battlefield where life and death were in constant struggle. The workers were not just victims, but heroes too. They showed immense courage, working in the face of death every day. Yet their bravery was often overshadowed by the grim reality of their circumstances. The hardships endured by the workers were not in vain. The pig iron produced in these furnaces helped build the infrastructure of a burgeoning nation. Yet, the cost was heavy. The furnaces consumed not just coal and iron, but human lives too. The Sloss Furnaces were a testament to human endurance and sacrifice. The spirit of the workers, their sweat and blood, are ingrained in every brick, every piece of iron that came out of the furnaces. As the body count rose, so did the tales of horror and despair. The memories of the lost and injured workers still linger in the air, a haunting reminder of the perilous past. The dawn of the 1900s brought with it a new menace, a foreman named James "Slag" Wormwood. This man, a figure who would become synonymous with cruelty and disregard for human life, took the reins at Sloss Furnaces. As the new foreman, Wormwood was as unrelenting as the heat of the furnaces he commanded. His primary goal? To increase production no matter the cost. Wormwood was a man who believed in the iron rule, literally and figuratively. His methods were harsh, demanding, and often outright dangerous. He pushed his workers to the brink, asking them to take risks that were far beyond the norm. The furnaces roared louder and longer, the glow of molten iron illuminating the faces of men pushed beyond their limits. Under Wormwood's reign, the already perilous job at the furnaces turned into a deadly gamble. Accidents, previously a rare but accepted part of the job, dramatically increased. The death toll started to rise, with nearly 50 men losing their lives in the fiery belly of the furnaces. Each death, each accident, was a grim testament to Wormwood's ruthless pursuit of production. The workers, trapped in their circumstances, could do little but obey and endure. Their lives were consumed by the relentless pace set by Wormwood. The furnace's incessant roar was a constant reminder of the foreman's tyrannical rule. The men worked, sweated and bled under the watchful eyes of their cruel taskmaster. Behind the iron gates of Sloss Furnaces, Wormwood reigned supreme. His ironclad control was unyielding, his methods unquestioned. The men under his command worked in fear, their lives hanging by a thread as they toiled in the unbearable heat of the furnaces. But as they say, every tyrant meets his end, and so did Wormwood. His reign of terror, marked by the suffering and deaths of countless workers, would not last forever. The furnaces that had once roared under his command would become the stage for his dramatic downfall. But that's a tale for another scene. For now, let's remember Wormwood as he was, a man who ruled with an iron fist, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. In 1906, Wormwood met a fate as fiery as the furnaces he ruled over. A chilling end awaited the man who had become synonymous with a reign of terror. The workers, pushed to their limits, were alleged to have taken matters into their own hands. They say that on a night as dark as the coal they shoveled, the workers exacted their revenge. James Slag Wormwood, the man who had danced with death so often, was thrown into the very furnace he had forced so many to risk their lives on. A horrifyingly poetic end, wouldn't you agree? The relentless foreman, who had driven nearly 50 souls to their untimely demise, was swallowed up by the molten iron's fiery embrace. His shrieks echoed through the furnace chambers, a chilling symphony of justice served. The workers, they say, were eerily calm that night. They continued their work as if nothing had happened. The only difference was the absence of Wormwood's cruel voice, replaced by the constant hum of the furnace. Life at Sloss Furnaces carried on, but the shadow of that night forever lingered. With Wormwood's fall, one would think the horrors of Sloss Furnaces would end, but they were far from over. The furnace had claimed its final victim, but the echoes of the past refused to be silenced. The haunting tale of Sloss Furnaces was only just beginning. Today, the grounds of Sloss Furnaces are said to be haunted, echoing with the voice of Slag. It is here, in the heart of Birmingham, Alabama, that whispers of the past seem to reverberate through the crumbling brickwork, a silent testament to the lives lost and the horrors endured. Over the years, countless visitors and employees alike have reported strange occurrences, chilling encounters that defy explanation. Many have claimed to hear the harsh voice of James Slag Wormwood, his spectral figure prowling the grounds as if forever bound to the furnace he once ruled with an iron fist. His chilling commands, "Push harder, work faster," have been heard echoing through the empty corridors, a ghostly reminder of the brutal regime he enforced. But it's not just Slag's phantom that haunts these grounds. Sightings of spectral workers, their faces etched with the toil and hardship of a bygone era, have been reported. These apparitions appear as fleeting shadows, vanishing as quickly as they materialize, leaving behind an unshakable sense of dread. Unseen forces have been known to move objects, doors slam shut with no one near, and the clanging of metal against metal can be heard, as if the ghostly workers are still toiling away in the furnace. The air often grows inexplicably cold, and an oppressive feeling of despair hangs heavy in the air. Even the most skeptical of visitors have been left unnerved by inexplicable drops in temperature, disembodied voices, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. These experiences serve as a chilling reminder of the tragic history of Sloss Furnaces, a place where the line between the living and the dead appears to blur. So ends the tale of Sloss Furnaces, a place where the echoes of the past still linger, a chilling reminder of a time best forgotten. And yet, it's a tale that continues to captivate. the haunting legacy of the furnace and its cruel foreman forever etched into the very fabric of Birmingham's history.